Picture this. You just retired. You worked hard your entire life. You saved, you sacrificed, and now you're finally ready to enjoy the fruits of all that labor. But here's what nobody tells you before you retire. Where you live can cost you just as much as how you spend. And right now, thousands of retirees are quietly losing $5,000 or more every single year, simply because they retired in the wrong state. So today, we are going to talk about the one state that could change everything for your retirement, and why making this one move might be the smartest financial decision you ever make. Let's start with the big picture. Most people spend decades planning their retirement savings. They obsess over their 401k contributions, their Roth IRA limits, their investment portfolios. But the moment they retire, they just stay put, in the same house, in the same city, in the same state they've lived in for 30 years. And that comfort, that familiarity, could be quietly draining thousands of dollars out of their retirement account every single year. Taxes, cost of living, healthcare costs, it all adds up faster than you think. And if you're living on a fixed income, every dollar matters. So which state are we talking about? Florida, the Sunshine State. And before you roll your eyes and say, yeah, everyone knows about Florida, hear me out. Because most people don't actually know the full picture of just how much money is sitting on the table here. This isn't just about warm weather and beaches, although those are very real perks. This is about a state that has structurally designed its tax code to be incredibly generous to retirees, and the numbers are genuinely shocking when you lay them all out together. Let's start with the biggest one, state income tax. Florida has zero state income tax. None. Zip. That means if you're collecting Social Security, pension income, IRA withdrawals, or any other form of retirement income, the state of Florida takes absolutely nothing. Compare that to a state like California, where the top marginal state income tax rate hits 13.3%, or New York at nearly 11%, or even a mid-tier state like Georgia or Missouri, sitting around 5 to 6%. If you're pulling $50,000 a year out of your retirement accounts, and you live in a state with a 6% income tax, that's $3,000 a year gone before you even pay federal taxes. Move to Florida, and that $3,000 stays in your pocket every single year for the rest of your retirement. But wait, it doesn't stop there. Florida also has no estate tax or inheritance tax. So everything you've built over your lifetime, every dollar you want to pass on to your kids or grandkids, doesn't get taxed at the state level when you pass. For a lot of retirees, this isn't just about saving money today. It's about preserving generational wealth. It's about making sure what you built actually gets passed down the way you intended. Now let's talk about property taxes, because this is where Florida gets even more interesting. Florida has what's called the homestead exemption, and if you are a permanent Florida resident, you can knock up to $50,000 off your home's assessed value for property tax purposes. On top of that, there's something called the Save Our Homes cap, which limits how much your property's assessed value can increase each year to just 3%, or the rate of inflation, whichever is lower. In states where property values are skyrocketing, this cap is an enormous financial shield. Retirees in other states are watching their property tax bills climb hundreds of dollars every year. In Florida, you've got built-in protection against that. And here's another thing that doesn't get enough attention. Florida does not tax Social Security benefits at the state level. In contrast, 12 states in the U.S. still tax Social Security income to some degree. If your monthly Social Security check is $1,800, that's $21,600 a year. Even a modest 5% state tax on that is over $1,000 out of your retirement income annually. In Florida, that money is yours to keep. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the cost of living. Yes, parts of Florida, particularly Miami and some coastal areas, can be expensive. But here's what the headlines miss. The majority of Florida is very affordable, especially for retirees. Cities like Ocala, Lakeland, Port Charlotte, Gainesville, and Tallahassee offer incredibly reasonable costs of living. Housing is more affordable than most people expect outside the tourist corridors. Groceries and utilities are competitive, and you don't have the brutal heating bills that retirees in the Northeast and Midwest deal with every single winter. When you factor in the absence of state income tax and the property tax protections, the total financial picture of retiring in Florida is dramatically better than most states can offer. Let's talk healthcare for a moment, because this is a top concern for every retiree. Florida is one of the most Medicare-friendly states in the country. It has an enormous network of doctors, specialists, and hospitals that accept Medicare. In fact, because Florida has such a large retiree population, the healthcare infrastructure specifically catered to seniors is among the best in the nation. There's real competition among providers, which generally keeps quality high and your out-of-pocket costs manageable. Now here's the part that really adds everything up. Let's run a simple scenario. Imagine a retired couple with $60,000 in annual retirement income, a modest home, and Social Security benefits. If they're living in a state with a 5 to 6% income tax, property taxes that increase uncapped, and Social Security is partially taxed, they could easily be paying $5,000 to $7,000 more in total state-level tax burden compared to the exact same financial situation in Florida. That's not a small number. That's a vacation every year. That's a new car every few years. That's thousands of dollars going back into your retirement fund instead of disappearing into a state government that doesn't give retirees nearly the same consideration. And the quality of life factor is real too. Year-round warm weather means you're actually outside, staying active, which has documented benefits on both physical and mental health. Lower stress, more outdoor activity, better social opportunities. Florida's massive retiree communities mean you won't struggle to find people in your exact stage of life who want to stay active, social, and engaged. That lifestyle value compounds the financial benefit in ways that are hard to put a number on, but are very, very real. So here's the bottom line. Retirement is the phase of life you earned. Every dollar you saved, every year you worked, every sacrifice you made was building toward this chapter. And it would be a shame, a genuine financial shame, to give thousands of dollars back to a state government every year simply because you didn't consider the alternative. Florida isn't perfect for everyone, and there are things to consider before any major move. But purely from a financial standpoint, for the average retiree, no other state in the country offers the same combination of zero income tax, Social Security protection, property tax shields, and cost of living balance. Over a 20-year retirement, we're talking about potentially $100,000 or more that stays in your pocket instead of going to the state. That's not nothing. That's your retirement, protected.